Namaste. Welcome. Homemade yoga props today. We're starting our yin practice on Sundays at 6 p.m. And for yin to be really effective, we want to be supported in our practice by using props. So when you visit a yoga studio or come to class, you usually have a bolster, some bricks, foam blocks, yoga belts or straps, eye pillows, blankets, sandbags, endless list of props that support us in yin. And the reason we have so many props in yin is to help bring greater comfort to us and so that the poses are more sustainable. In yin, the practice is more internalized. It's a meditative, inward looking, reflective practice. We come into a place of stillness by coming into a yoga pose or shape. Then we hold that pose for anything between 3 and 7 minutes. And in that time, we meet our edge. We either come up face to face with our edge or we ease away from our edge. Using props helps us to stay comfortable within that edge so that we can sustain our pose for the amount of time that we're allocating to it, for example. In that stillness, we drop into the gap between our thoughts and we begin to meditate. So yoga becomes a meditative practice. We also physically begin to soften and relax and melt into the pose so that our tendons, ligaments, muscles soften and relax. And that aids mobility. So how can we create the props that we need at home? Bolster we use to support our back in supported bridge, shoulder stand, heart openers, so we recline onto our bolster for heart openers. We place it underneath our knees for shavasana. When we do a twist, lying down twist, we often place the upper leg on a bolster so that the earth rises up to meet us. We might use it on our mat for dragon or sphinx, so underneath our heart for sphinx to hold our heart up, or we might place our hands on it. So bolsters are really versatile props in our yin practice. We obviously aren't going to have props, those bolsters at home. So what can we use instead? The first thing that we would use are pillows. So find some very firm pillows. And if your pillows are really firm, as my pillow is, so this is memory foam pillow, I can probably just use, I'm going to move my dog who's sitting on my pillow. Come here. And then we'll have 2 thick pillows and we can tie them together by using scarves, long scarves, belts, ties, or dressing gown belt. And we can just tie those together. So for example, if we were going to do that, we would just wrap this around and tie a real knot on it. Now, if you don't have 2 firm pillows, I'm going to show you with a less firm pillow. So this is a less firm pillow. You can see it's a bit softer, it's a feather pillow. So for this, I'm going to roll it up as tight as I can. I'm going to use my knees to help me here. And then, so for example, for this one, if I use my scarf to tie it together, so I can wrap my scarf around it a couple of times. So if you've been to the Scouts or Girl Guides, you're probably very good at tying knots, or if you're a sailor. So that's one end there. We do the same at the other end. So wrap it around a few times. untie a knot. My dog is very curious about what I'm doing with my pillows. There we go. So we created a sort of mini bolster here. So that's really not as thick as I would like it. So in order to make that thicker, I can wrap around a blanket. So starting with the edge first, roll it in. So I'm wrapping up a burrito. So there we go. So I've got a really fantastic bolster here. I'll just demo how it works. So I'm going to place it there. If I want to lift it, I can place some cushions at one end so that I am all set up for my heart opener here. That's super cozy. So that's one option with pillow. Another option is to use a comforter. So on your bed, you might have comforters or throws. You might have a very thin duvet. So lengthways, fold it up several times. So I've folded it and folded it. And then I've halved it here. And I'm going to just roll in from the edge. So always rolling from the edge so that it doesn't unravel during your practice. I'm going to roll it in as tightly as I can. Can you go to your bed, please? Go to your bed. And roll it in as tightly as I can. And there we go. So if I'm happy with that, I can just use the one comforter. If I want to double it up, I can always wrap another comforter around it. For this one, I'm going to use the belts. So I would recommend having men's belts handy because they're a little bit longer. And you can also use them as your substitute yoga strap. So, and when you tie it, try and have the ties and the buckles on the same side because it means that you'll have no sort of uncomfortable bits when you're leaning onto your bolster. So there we go. So again, you can see that we've created a little bolster. Again, I want to wrap a blanket around it just to make it a little bit softer and a little bit more comfortable. So I'm going to wrap my blanket around it one more time. And there we go. Bolster number 2. So this one I'm going to show you what it's like underneath. So I can have it underneath my knees. Like so. When I'm resting. You probably can't see my head here, but I just want you to look at my knees anyway, underneath my bolster. Or I can roll it underneath my hips. Supported bridge. Bring my knees in and lift my toes to the sky for supported shoulder stand. This is a really supportive prop. I feel totally relaxed here and well supported. And roll that bolster away from me. So those are 2 bolster options. Now, I'm sure you'll have either a comforter, thin duvet or pillows available. If you want to create some extra bolsters, you can also use a pile of towels. So find towels that are about the same size, so bath sheets or beach towels. And then again, roll them in from the edge and roll them one at a time so that if they unravel, you don't lose the whole lot in one go. And actually, they're less likely to unravel if you have them rolled up. So I don't know if you can see me, but I'm sure you can. And then there's my last one, so I'm going to put that up and then I'm going to roll that in towards me. So I've created another bolster here. You can also use a rolled up towel, so just use a smaller towel to support you underneath your neck. You can also use cushions underneath your neck. So, for example, if you've got your bolster and you want to support yourself under your neck. So here we go. I've got my bolster here, and then I might place a cushion underneath there so that I have support. See, so that my chin is slightly tucked here, and that the back of my neck is long. So you might have one cushion there, or you might place two cushions there. Again, very relaxing and very supportive. That's our bolsters. If you don't have bricks available, there are again multiple options. Remember, you can use your bolster to bring the earth up towards you if you need, or you can find some very thick books. Hardback is recommended, and you can place your books. So for example, here I want to do dragon pose. I can place my books on the inside of my feet. I can also place it if I'm in pigeon and I want to support my sit bone here. I can support my sit bone. So books are great for bringing the earth up towards you. So a couple of dictionaries are really great. Cookbooks are a good option as well. Those of you who practice with me regularly will know that I use footstools when I'm watching TV at night. I put my feet up. They're great for bringing the earth up towards you. If you don't have a low footstool, another option is to use a chair. So I've got a chair here. So for example, if we're here, I can rest my eyebrow center on the chair for balance. I might want to pad my chair so it's really comfortable, so I might want to put a cushion on there. Another way of using a chair during our yin practice is to elevate our legs. So I'm not very elegant as I get in here because I'm trying to make sure that the camera can see me. So you can have your legs resting up on the chair, arms away from your body, chin slightly tucked. Really restful here. Again, everything is about bringing props to help restore us physically. So the more rested we are in a pose, it may be challenging. We don't completely chill out the whole time in our yin practice, but where we want to bring a more restorative element, we will use chairs, bolsters, cushions, pillows, whatever you need. And finally, if you don't have your eye pillow, and eye pillows are a great addition to yoga practice, I like to use a slipper sock or a thick sock because it feels really soft and cozy when it's resting on your over your eyes. But also it's slightly heavier than just a normal sock or a scarf, so it can feel a bit more rested. If you wanted to, you could get really creative and put in some lentils or rice in a plastic bag and then put them in here so that you get a little bit of a kind of that effect of flaxseed in your eye pillow. I'm trying to think whether there's anything else that you could possibly need. I'm not sure I can think of anything, but have a look around your house. You need to have cushions available. So I would always say have about 2 cushions because you can also place them underneath your knees when you're in butterfly pose. Have a couple of pillows available. Have some straps. So for example, if we wanted to support ourselves in this butterfly pillow with this yoga strap, what would we do instead? We would use a long scarf or a belt. So for example, and you would probably want to tie two scarves together or tie two ties together, unless you're a really long dressing gown belt, which is the best thing. So for example, I'm going to tie a knot here to tie my two scarves together. And then I'm going to find the kind of distance that I want, how much support I want. So one might do here. So I'm going to tie this one here. So make sure you tie a really tight knot, otherwise it won't support you enough. So I'm just going to make this a little bit shorter. I want to get a real. And there you go. So that's your makeshift yoga belt. Very handy. I think that might be it. I'm thinking very hard because I want you to be as comfortable and supported as you can be in your yin. So we were making our little list. 2 cushions, perhaps 2 pillows, or your rolled up comforter, or towels. You also need a blanket, perhaps to place underneath you on your mat, or to cover you on top. When some poses, we might be in them for a while and it just keeps us warm. Our body temperature drops in yin practice. It's very cooling practice, very lunar, the other side of the moon practice. I think we're done. I'm going to take a photo of all my props and send it to you if you're in my WhatsApp group. Don't forget you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. It's Rebel Yoga Tribe. I also have a website, www.rebelyogatribe.co.uk. Please check it in. I will post this link everywhere so that you can prepare for Yin. Dhanyavad and have a happy rest. Thank you.